So I've gotten this ability now to literally just take the workable range of the instrument and make it completely pure and even in buzz. Now what that does when you apply that to the horn is we get the overtone series that's available, and we can navigate wherever and all notes are equal. There's no note that sounds more difficult or easier than the next. It's almost like a socialist harmonic series in a sense. Every overtone is equal. That being said, whatever you're playing becomes incredibly easy because the buzz is working at its most efficient gear ratio for what it needs to. And it gives you so much more range as well. You heard a high C there before, but it's not even a high note when you're playing with this way of playing. You're playing way up much higher.